A tense prelude to war. On the morning of August 27, 1896, the small island nation of Zanzibar found itself at the heart of a dramatic and historically unique conflict. What unfolded that day would become the shortest war ever recorded, lasting a mere 38 to 45 minutes. Yet, despite its brevity, the Anglo-Zanzibar War was a stark example of British imperial dominance and the geopolitical struggles of the late 19th century. Zanzibar, a crown jewel in the Indian Ocean. Zanzibar, a spice-rich island off the coast of East Africa, had long been an important trading hub, particularly in the slave trade. By the late 19th century, the British Empire sought to exert control over the region, largely to enforce their ban on slavery and strengthen their influence in East Africa. Though Zanzibar technically remained a protectorate rather than a direct colony, the British wielded significant power over its affairs. In 1893, Sultan Hamid bin Thuwaini, who was cooperative with British interests, ascended to the throne. However, upon his sudden death on August 25, 1896, his cousin, Khalid bin Barghash, quickly seized power, without British approval. Unlike his predecessor, Khalid was hostile to British authority, determined to assert Zanzibar's independence. His unexpected takeover immediately put him at odds with the British, who saw his rule as a direct challenge to their influence. The build-up to conflict. The British, led by Consul Basil Cave, refused to recognize Khalid as Sultan. They favored Hamud bin Mohammed, who was more aligned with British policies. When Khalid ignored demands to step down, British forces issued an ultimatum. He must vacate the palace by 9 a.m. on August 27, 1896, or face military action. Khalid, however, refused to back down. He barricaded himself in the Beit al-Hukm palace, gathering about 3,000 poorly trained soldiers. He also positioned a small naval force in the harbour, including the royal yacht, HHS Glasgow. His army, though outnumbering the British on paper, was severely lacking in firepower, training, and modern weaponry. Despite his preparations, Khalid's forces were no match for the technologically superior British Navy and troops. The 38-minute war begins. As the ultimatum expired at 9 a.m., British warships HMS St. George, HMS Philomel, and HMS Thrush opened fire on the palace. Within minutes, British artillery obliterated the Sultan's defences. The attack was meticulously planned, utilising both naval bombardment and ground forces to swiftly overpower the opposition. By 9:02 a.m., the palace was engulfed in flames, causing panic among Khalid's supporters. By 9:05 a.m., Zanzibar's naval fleet had been sunk, including HHS Glasgow, which was reduced to wreckage. By 9:10 a.m., Khalid's forces had either surrendered, fled, or lay dead. The war was over before it had barely begun. By 9:40 a.m., British forces had secured the palace, deposed Khalid, and installed their chosen ruler, Sultan Hamud bin Mohammed. The overwhelming firepower and tactical precision of the British ensured an indisputable victory in record time. The entire battle had lasted just 38 minutes, cementing its place in history as the shortest war ever fought. The aftermath, the lasting impact. Despite the war's short duration, the consequences were significant. Casualties. Roughly 500 Zanzibari fighters were killed or wounded, while only one British sailor was injured, highlighting the extreme imbalance in military power. Khalid bin Barghash fled to the German consulate, where he was granted asylum. The British, wary of sparking an international incident, allowed him to remain there for some time before he was captured in 1916 and exiled to Seychelles. Zanzibar remained under British control until it gained independence in 1963, over 6 decades later. The aftermath of the war reinforced British colonial authority sending a clear message to other territories about the consequences of defying the empire. The event also highlighted the stark military disparities between European powers and local resistance forces in Africa. The swiftness of the war and the decisive British victory demonstrated the sheer power of European imperialism in the late 19th century. A curious place in history. The Anglo-Zanzibar War remains a fascinating historical anomaly. Though often overshadowed by larger global conflicts, it serves as a stark reminder of British colonial power and the lengths to which empires would go to maintain control. The rapid and devastating efficiency of the British response illustrated their military supremacy at the height of their imperial reign. Additionally, this war became a precedent for how swift, overwhelming military action could be used to quell resistance, a tactic employed in various colonial conflicts worldwide. The war, despite being almost comically short, had real implications for the people of Zanzibar, further entrenching British dominance and delaying self-rule. Though lasting only 38 minutes, this war left an enduring legacy, one of power struggles, imperial might, and the rapid shifts of colonial rule in Africa. Today, Zanzibar embraces its rich history and unique place in world records, proving that even the shortest wars can leave a lasting impact. The story of the Anglo-Zanzibar War stands as a testament to the brutal realities of empire, the clash of cultures, and the unrelenting march of history. It remains a unique, almost surreal chapter in military history, one that underscores both the futility and devastating impact of colonial conflicts.